Welcome back to our little rendition of the Thrill Club Curios and Weirdos. Before we get into this mess, make sure you like, share, and subscribe this video. So we're gonna do a little quick recap before we, run up into before we get back into the story. So last time, Seth played us that weird, mysterious tape connected to his father's unaliving, went into some kind of weird trance, and Thalia ended the night running through Fear Street, convinced somebody was after her, and fell over the ground like she was testing gravity. Okay, she was testing the gravity. Now, while we continue reading this story, I want you guys to watch Thalia very closely. Like, watch her, okay? Watch her movements. Pay attention to the gap between who Thalia thinks she is and what everyone around her might be telling us about who she is. Because sometimes the most interesting character description is the one the character doesn't give us. Now, y'all ready? Let's get into it. We're going to put Oreo Jr. back here and let's keep this party going. Please, cried Thalia, her shrill voice trembling. Please. Come on, said a familiar voice. You can get up now. Oh no, thought Thalia. It can't be. Thalia, said the voice. Let me help you up. Thalia reached out her hand for the hand extended to her and picked herself up from the sidewalk. She didn't know whether to be relieved or furious. Now our meeting of the Thrill Club can officially be adjourned, Chantel said cheerfully. This was payback for using my name in tonight's story and for your little stunt with the knife. One good turn deserves another. Thalia brushed dirt off her knees. She wasn't hurt, just scared and embarrassed. Well, she murmured, I guess we're even now. You guess? Chantel didn't sound satisfied. That thing with the knife wasn't funny, Thalia. It was really hostile. You really frightened me. Maybe Chandel was right. The joke had gone too far, even for the Thrill Club. Like, girl, duh. I'm really sorry, Thalia told her. Do you accept my apology? Thalia rated and was relieved when Chandel finally nodded. Seeing that I scared you half to unaliving, Chandel said, chuckling. I guess it's okay. I forgive you. That's how it's done, y'all. That's how it's done. You gotta acknowledge your flaws and then, apologize to the other person. And this is how it's done. I feel like their friendship might be mended here, okay? Walking together, they made their way quickly past the cemetery. Thalia's heart was still pounding. After a minute or two had passed, Thalia broke the silence. Her voice was sympathetic. You should have unalived Mara in your story, not me. Did you see the way she was gazing at Seth with the goo eyes? Cue the messy, y'all. Just cue the mess. We didn't apologize, and now we just throwing somebody else up under the bus. So cue the messy, y'all. I saw, Thalia assured her. What's the story with Mara and Rudy anyway? Are they having problems? Mara's so plain, Thalia thought cruelly. Girl. Okay. I have nothing. Girl, you did already took her man. I mean, leave her alone. You did already took her man, ma'am. Okay. I wonder what Rudy sees in her. He's a really nice guy. Cute too. Those brown eyes. Those broad shoulders. Mara doesn't deserve a guy like him. Okay, sis. You know Mara, Chandel said with a shrug. She never really got over Seth. I hate to say it, Thalia, But it wasn't right of you to break them up. Okay, girl, period. I didn't, Thalia cut in quickly. Seth asked me out. I didn't break them up. Ma'am, did you tell him yeah? Okay. You had your part to play in this, sis. But let me keep going. Let me keep going. Chandel ignored her protest, as I am doing too. You don't even seem to care all that much about Seth, she said. You know how Thalia be over there like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with him. It's so boring. Ma'am, everybody can see it. Everybody can see it, ma'am. So, just in case you thought you was keeping a secret, Thalia. That's not true, Thalia protested. Seth means a lot to me. We're really good together. Girl, who are you trying to convince? You or everybody? Yeah. Even if she said it, Thalia realized she wasn't telling the truth. Girl, everybody can see that too. She and Seth didn't have a good relationship. Not anymore. Seth was too distant, too wrapped up in his own problems of his father passing away 3 weeks ago. Hey, it's none of my business, Chandel continued. But you and Seth, you're not going to make it as a couple, period. I like Chandel. I'm Team Chandel. Just FYI, if anybody was wondering, I am Team Chandel because Chandel keeps it real. Okay. I like this lady. I like her. Period. Okay. Sorry. I just got excited about the truth. That's right, Thalia snapped. It's none of your business. They walked the last couple of blocks in uncomfortable silence. The wind, cold for spring, pushed against them. The curtain of mist darkened over the moon. Thalia stopped in front of her house. Well, she said stiffly, thanks for walking with me. She had an attitude. Thanks for walking with me. Chandel nodded and started away, even without saying goodbye. Thalia was startled by the strong feelings of anger that swept over her. Anger she had never felt towards Chandel before. What's going on? Thalia asked herself. Chandel is my friend. She always talks like that. She always says what's on her mind. I do that too, girl. So why do I suddenly feel such frightening anger? Ma'am, you just mad at yourself. You angry at you, really. Chandel ain't do nothing to you. She just told you the truth. You angry at you. But let me keep going. Thalia felt edgy, stressed out when she woke up the next morning. She hadn't slept well. Those crazy chants on Seth's tape had haunted her dreams, frightening dreams. Ooh, girl. She was being chased through a maze by people she didn't see. Dogs barked. Everything was noisy and terribly confused. All she knew was that she couldn't let herself get captured. Girl, where you running from? Probably the truth. She running from the truth, y'all. I think she running from the truth. What y'all think she running from? I think she running from the truth. Now, Thalia felt exhausted, as if she had been running all night long. I'm not myself, she thought. When she finally managed to drag herself downstairs, her mother was sitting at the kitchen table, looking perfect. Go off, sis. As usual. My mom, the lawyer, Thalia thought. Never a wrinkle in her tasteful suits. Never a hair out of place. Go, girl. Well, said Miss Blanton. Look who finally decided to grace us with her presence. Yup, said Thalia. Lucky you. Thalia opened the refrigerator and pulled out the carton of orange juice. You can have eggs for breakfast, honey, Miss Blanton informed her. Or how about some waffles? Neither, said Thalia. I don't feel like eating this morning. You have to eat breakfast, her mother insisted. It's the most important meal of the day, Thalia cut in, finishing her mother's sentence. I know. I know I'm being a parent, but without breakfast, people can't function. Girl, yes, they can. Miss Blanton said with a sunny smile. It's a simple fact of nature. Mm-hmm. So Thalia forced herself to eat two toaster waffles drowned in syrup. When she trudged back upstairs, took a quick shower, and slipped into her most comfortable pair of jeans and an oversized green sweater. She usually wore dressier clothes to school, but she didn't feel like making the effort now. She put on some lipstick and smiled into the mirror. A pretty, cheerful looking girl smiled back. Her face framed by silky blonde hair. Mhm. Well, she thought, at least I don't look like a wreck. As usual, Thalia didn't have much to say to her mother during the 10-minute drive to school. They were close, but Thalia just wasn't a morning person. She never felt like herself until lunchtime. Her mother knew this from long experience and left Thalia to her own thoughts. Thalia's brother David, now a sophomore at Duke, go off, David, had been exactly the same way. Miss Blatton smiled as they pulled up in front of the main entrance to Shadyside High. Have a good day, Tally. I'll be in court all day, and then I have to go into the office, but I should be home by 6. Okay, Thalia replied absently. I mean, see you. Okay, girl, you know what you need? You know what she needed? She needed her mama to drive her right on through Starbucks. Girl, have your mama take you through Starbucks drive through, girl, and get you something. Okay, so you can wake yourself up. Sound a little cranky. Mm. What's wrong with me? Thalia wondered, walking slowly up the path to the double doors. Why do I feel so totally wiped out? As Thalia entered the building, her heart sank. I don't want to be here, she thought. I just want to be home in bed. To make matters worse, she turned a corner and spotted Seth standing by her locker, waiting like a faithful dog. I can't deal with him, she thought. Not now. I just don't want to talk to him. Didn't Chandel tell her the night before that her and Seth didn't make a good couple?
She did say that.
Could this be an example of that?
Maybe.
Before he saw her, Thalia ducked around the corner and out of sight. She used to look forward to seeing Seth first thing in the morning, but now she wasn't sure, making Chandel have a second point to what she said the night before. When Seth wasn't being aloof, he followed her around like an annoying little brother. With Seth, it was either too much or too little. When she didn't feel ignored, Thalia felt herself being smothered. And right now, she had to find room to breathe. What was she going to do with Seth? Dump him? Again, I'm on point to Chandel saying y'all not going to make it as a couple. Remember, this is just, this happened. Mm-hmm. Okay. Keep trying with him. Sit him down and have another heart-to-heart with him. Should she tell him how unhappy she was with the way things were between them? She couldn't decide. It would be cruel to break up with him now, when he was still so upset about his father. Thalia decided she just have to wait a little while longer until he was strong enough to handle it. Has anyone else ever been in this situation where you're with somebody and they're going through something and you're like, what would y'all do? I would stay with them. And I would probably be a lot less mean to them, but that's just me. Scott, what would you do? Would you break up with them? What would you do?
Yeah, might have to go that direction.
Oh, Scott would break up with. Okay, Scott is Team Thalia. She made her way back to her locker. Seth was nowhere in sight. Two girls she knew, Jay Smith and Dina Martinson, y'all stick a pin in them names because they're going to come right on back because they got a book in Shadyside too on Fear Street. Called to her. She waved back, then concentrated on opening her locker. She just didn't feel like talking to anyone. She felt a little better by the time homeroom ended and she entered her math class. Her mother was probably right about the waffles. She took her seat next to Nessa and set her notebook on her desk. Hi, said Nessa. Says you, Thalia replied with a frown. I'm starting to wonder why any of these people are her friends. What's your problem? Nessa asked. Thalia shrugged. Bad night. In front of the class, Mr. Hanson cleared his throat. Chairs scraped, notebooks were open, and chattering stopped. Thalia, the teacher said, I need to speak to you. Huh? Thalia wasn't sure she had heard correctly. His expression was solemn. He didn't sound happy. Thalia glanced quickly at Nessa, who turned to whisper something to Mora. Oh, girl. Mora's eyes were wide with surprise. Something was wrong. Dahlia thought, getting up unsteadily from her chair. On the way to the teacher's desk, Dahlia passed Rudy and Seth. Rudy flashed her a sympathetic look. Seth had his head down, pretended to double check his homework. Girl, what y'all done to this girl? Dahlia stood nervously in front of Mr. Hanson and tried to smile. Yes? She asked. Is something wrong? Mr. Hanson didn't return the smile. He was a balding, pink faced man with tortoiseshell glasses. As far as Thalia could tell, he owned only two suits, one blue, one gray, and wore them on alternate days. Today was the blue one. Girl, you might be in a little bit of trouble here. I'm starting to wonder, did Seth write his name on the paper that he did for? And that's what she in trouble for. Because, girl, what you in trouble for? You know, he be doing her math homework. Outside, outside, said Mr. Hanson, raising his chair, or rising from his chair. I need to talk to you in private. When they stepped into the hallway, Mr. Hanson handed her a sheet of paper. Yesterday's homework with Seth's name on top. I'm kidding. Thalia winced. Seth had done it for her while she watched TV. mm-hmm. Never again, she thought, girl, what, you gonna do your own papers from now on? Like,
Teach him a lesson.
girl.
Next time I'm doing the homework and you're watching.
Right. I'm gonna do my own homework and you can watch me while watching TV, me do my homework. Tell me honestly, the teacher said, watching her closely with suspicious eyes. Is this your work? Of course it is, Thalia tried to sound convincing, but her voice came out shrill and shaky. He stared hard at her, his gray blue eyes narrowing through the thick glasses. You're sure? Thalia nodded. I'm sure. I'm not a teacher, Mr. Hanson. Oh, really, girl? You not? He took the paper back from her. You've always been a good student, he said softly. Don't disappoint me. Mr. Hanson opened the door and Thalia followed him back into the classroom. He didn't want to wait till the end of the class. Anyway, she could feel her face blazing and knew that she was blushing. She kept her eyes straight ahead as she walked back to her seat, trying to pretend that everything was all right. She sat down and looked around the room, wondering if someone had snitched on her. Girl, somebody probably did. But why, she wondered. Why would anyone want to get me in trouble? Rudy stared at her from across the room, looking concerned. Seth kept his attention glued to his homework. Mara and Nessa traded whispers. Then Thalia's eyes came to rest on Shondell. She was sitting in the third row, wearing white overalls over a pink bodysuit, and stared straight back at Thalia. Chandel had the strangest smile on her face. I don't get mad, Thalia remembered her saying. I get even.
She did say that.
Y'all think Chandel snitched on her? Nessa couldn't understand it. It was 5 after 7, and only one member of the thrill club had arrived at her house for the meeting. Ordinarily, one or two kids might show up late, usually Mara and Thalia. Before, it was definitely weird. I don't get it, she told Rudy. Where do you think everyone is? Rudy put down the National Geographic he picked up from the coffee table and gave a quick shrug. I knew Myra would be late, he said, but she called to tell me. But who knows what Thalia, Seth, and Chandel, where Thalia, Seth, and Chandel are. I really hate waiting around, Nessa complained. If a meeting is supposed to start at 7, it should start at 7. I mean, I've got at least 2 hours of homework to do when this is all over. Tell me about it, Rudy said. He sighed wearily. I've got 3 chapters of history to read before that test on Friday. Ugh, Nessa said, rolling her eyes. Don't remind me. A few minutes passed. Nessa took a nail file out of her purse and began giving herself a manicure. Rudy picked up another issue of National Geographic. Maybe they rang the doorbell and we didn't hear it, he suggested. Nessa shook her head. My parents are in the den upstairs. They'll definitely hear the doorbell. As Nessa studied her nails, she thought back to the phone conversation with Chandel a half an hour earlier. Chandel sounded really excited. She said she had a secret to tell Nessa. She was unaliving to find out what it is. Girl, we want to know too. I want to know. I love a good secret.
Yeah.
I want to know. This isn't like Chandel, Nessa remarked. She's always on time. It's not like Seth to be late either. Girl, the only one who be holding up the works is Thalia, and she's supposed to be the writer, even though Seth writing the stories for her. This a mess. Let's give them a few more minutes, Rudy suggested. If no one shows up in 10 to 15 minutes, we can start making those phone calls. Nessa nearly jumped off the couch when the doorbell rang. Finally, she thought. Now we can get started. She hurried up the garage or the basement steps, through the hallway, and opened the front door. Mara stood smiling on the porch, her short red hair gleaming wet. Sorry I'm late, she said. She tugged at her wet hair. I had to shower. You're only the third one here, Nessa told her. It's just you, me, and Rudy. Really? Mara squinted in surprise as she stepped into the hallway. Where are the others? Good question, Nessa replied. I wish I knew. Nessa chuckled to herself as she reached for her nail file. She and her sister teased her father that the rec room was like a doctor's office, with all the magazines spread out on the coffee table. I bet I know where Thalia is, Mara teased, plopping down on the couch next to Rudy. She's probably at Seth's, waiting for him to finish her new story on his computer, period. Oh, maybe the disc crashed or something. Girl. Mara, give us a break, Rudy said. There was a harsh tone in his voice that made Nessa glance up from her nails. Please don't start in on that again, he groaned. Why not? Mara returned with a smile. Her green eyes flashed with mischief. Whose side are you on anyway? Mine's or Thalia's? Whose side y'all think Rudy on? And why do y'all think he's on either side? I'm thinking Thalia. I think he want to get with Thalia.
Well, that's a good reason to be on their side.
Not wanting to get involved, Nessa lowered her eyes and pretended to be engrossed in her manicure. I'm on your side, Mara, Rudy quickly assured her. Good answer, Nessa thought to herself. Her nails looked perfect, but she kept filing away just to have something to do. I would like to remind y'all this is before cell phones, so Seth lets Thalia make a complete and total or take complete and total advantage of him, Mara continued, her tone more serious. He does her homework, drives her around, and tags along behind her like a little lap dog. She treats him like a slave, and he just begs for more. Some guys are just so pitiful. Nessa couldn't help herself. The psychology of boys was the one subject on which she considered herself an expert. Okay, girl, what you got, girl? Teach us. After all, she devoted a great deal of time and effort on the topic. The way I see it, she told Mara, if Thalia treats Seth like a slave, it's only because he lets her. I agree. And if he lets her, he must enjoy it. So who are we to get on his case or her case? Period. Period. If he wanted to leave, she ain't got him balled and chained to her. They ain't handcuffed together. He could always leave.
True.
Oh, great. Mara rolled her eyes. Thanks for the expert analysis. Nessa started to reply, but stopped when she heard the basement door opening. Footsteps pounded down the stairs. She turned to see Seth enter the rec room, dressed in black jeans and a camouflage t shirt. His outfit of choice since the unaliving of his father. He nodded and sat down in a metal folding chair. Hey, said Nessa, who let you in? Your dad, replied Seth. He was sitting on the porch smoking his pipe. He said your mother won't let him smoke in the house. Yeah, said Nessa. My mom's pretty strict about that. Girl, don't nobody want to smell no pipe smoke. Sorry, I'm late, Seth told her. My mother asked me to do the dishes. His eyes narrowed as he glanced around the room. He glanced at his watch. Hey, where are Thalia and Chandel? It's almost 20 minutes after 7. It's weird, said Nessa. Chandel's never late. You'd think she would have called by now. Rudy turned to Seth. Did Thalia tell you that she was going to be late? He asked. Seth ran his hands through his wavy hair. He seemed to be searching his mind for an answer. No, he said after a brief hesitation. I talked to her after school, and she said she'd see me at the meeting. She said she was working on a new story. That's a good one, Mora said, and then laughed. What's so funny, said Seth. Nessa rose impatiently from her chair. I'm calling Chandel, she said. I'm sick of waiting. Nessa had walked to the foot of the stairs when she heard the basement door open again. Thalia came rushing down the steps, her face flushed, her expression tense. It's me, Thalia said breathlessly, pushing stray wisps of blonde hair out of her eyes. I'm really so sorry. What happened? Nessa asked. Where were you? Thalia frowned. She stared hard at Nessa without replying. I don't know, she said finally, shaking her head in confusion. I guess I just lost track of time. Girl, how you just lose track of time like that? How you just lose time like that? Thalia felt groggy as if she had just awakened from a nap. Nearly 7:30. How could that have happened? She left her house 25 minutes ago. Girl, how you lose 25 minutes of time? You okay? And it was only a 10-minute walk from her house to Nessa's, 15 at most. What's wrong with me? She wondered. Is everything okay? Nessa asked her. Yeah, I'm fine, Thalia answered. I'm just trying to catch my breath. Can I take your sweatshirt? Offered Nessa. Thalia glanced at the wadded up white sweatshirt in her hand. She didn't remember taking it off. Girl, you on drugs? Why am I carrying it? She wondered. That's okay, she said to Nessa, tightening her grip on the sweatshirt. I'll just hold on to it. Nessa gave her a puzzled look. It's okay, Thalia. I'll put it in my room with Mara's jacket. I'm going up there anyway. I have to call Chandel's house to find out what's taking her so long. Thalia snapped out of her daze long enough to glance around the rec room. Chandel's not here? She asked, reluctantly surrendering the sweatshirt to Nessa. Nessa shook her head. I can't believe she hasn't called, she complained, slipping past Thalia on her way upstairs. Chandel's usually more thoughtful than this. Thalia felt a little better now that she realized she wasn't the only person late for the meeting. She sat down on a folding chair next to Seth. She said hi to Rudy and Mara. Seth reached out and took her hand. He leaned closer, bringing his mouth to her ear. How's it going? Everything okay? he whispered. His voice was soft and reassuring. I was getting worried about you. I think so, Thalia whispered back. What happened? He asked. Why are you so late? Thalia hesitated. I don't know what happened, she thought to herself. But how could she explain that, even to Seth? Nothing, she replied. I just lost track of time. Girl, how? Girl, you might want to go to the ER. Rudy closed the magazine on his lap and dropped it onto the coffee table. I can't wait to hear your new horror story tonight, he told Thalia. Before Thalia could tell him she hadn't been able to write one, or Seth had not been able to write one, I'm gonna keep it funky here. Nessa came back down the stairs, shaking her head. Something's wrong, she announced. I just talked to Chandel's mother. She said Chandel left the house nearly a half an hour ago, and it's only a short walk from her house to here. Well, I'm sure she'll be here any minute, said Mara. Maybe she stopped to get some chips or something. Why don't we go look for her? Rudy suggested, rising from the couch. It's better than sitting around here fouling our nails. He added, smiling slyly at Nessa. Girl, Rudy? You trying to get with Nessa too, or what here? Good idea, agreed Seth. My car's outside. All five of us can fit. Mara jumped up from the couch and turned her gaze to Thalia. Let's go, she said impatiently. What are we waiting for? Fine, said Thalia. A single file line. In a single file, the group clumped up the carpeted staircase to the hallway. All the way up the stairs, Thalia felt Mara's hard gaze drilling into her back. What's Mara's problem? She wondered again. Mara stopped by the front door, tapping herself on the forehead, as if she just remembered something. I'll meet you at the car, she told the others. I have to run upstairs and get my jacket. Can you get my sweatshirt too? Thalia asked her. Nessa said she put it in her room. Sure, said Mara. She disappeared up the stairs. Thalia followed the others outside. Darkness hadn't fallen yet. A pale crescent moon hung in the gray sky, and a cool breeze rushed through the treetops. Thalia shivered in her t-shirt. When is it going to start feeling like spring, she wondered. You want to sit up front? Seth asked her. That's okay, said Thalia. I'm happy to squeeze in the back. And then you wonder why Chandel be saying that y'all ain't gonna make it. Girl, go up front and sit next to your man, girl. Anyway, I'll sit in the front, Nessa said eagerly, pulling up the door, climbing into the front seat. My whole life, I've been riding in the back. Rudy climbed in back. Thalia stood alone on the sidewalk, rubbing her arm against the chill. A few seconds later, Mara came jogging down the sidewalk with Thalia's white sweatshirt. Here you go, she said, tossing it to her. Thalia pulled the sweatshirt over her head, taking care not to mess up her hair. It felt a lot better to have something warm on. Thanks, she told Mara, but Mara didn't answer. Her eyes widened as she gaped at Thalia's sweatshirt. What's wrong? Thalia stammered. Mara pointed to a large dark smear down the right sleeve of the sweatshirt. Thalia, she cried. How did you get that blood stain? Girl, how you get that blood stain, girl? Thalia, how you get that? Where'd that come from? Where you was at? Why you lost 25 at this time? I don't know. Okay, y'all. Okay, so let's get out of our book and let's get into this conversation. So Chandel got her revenge, like she said. Thalia got accused of cheating on her homework, which I mean, she kind of absolutely did. She was letting Seth do her homework. And then everyone starts arriving late to the thrill club, except Chandel never arrives. And Thalia, she showed up almost 30 minutes late, disheveled, confused, missing time, and with some blood on her sweatshirt. So I have two questions for y'all. Where was Thalia? And whose blood is that? Right? Now, y'all think of the answer to this. I'm going to tell y'all my answer first. Now, personally, seeing how this child fell the last time, we read about her, maybe she fell again and got herself a little concussion. It could be that. Remember, she had a headache. She was going through some things. She fell the day before when she was running. So maybe she, ate dirt again. I do not know. Y'all tell me what you think, though. You guys put in the comment section, Scott. What do you think?
I think that Chandel isn't the only one who gets even.
Okay, period. That's a way. Okay, we shall see. Well, guys, we're going to end this live here. Let me grab Oreo Jr. Okay, guys. So, as always, 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 we enjoy spending our time with you, and hopefully, you enjoy spending time with us. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other lives, videos, shorts, all that fun stuff. And with that, guys, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So, from wherever we are, even when we don't know where we are for 25 minutes, to wherever you guys are, we want to give you some peace and some love and some happiness. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for more of the Thrill Club and, of course, our Sunday Fun Day School. But you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Good night. Bye, y'all.